Hey, buddy. So, I think we're done. Well, sort of. The only thing that I have left right now is just to put basically your Stripe account so that it goes through, uh, to your bank basically whenever people buy the book. And then obviously, of course, like if you see anything that needs to be changed, then obviously I'll do that as well. But let me tell you some of the things that I did and how it works. Um, this is the closest what you're about to see is the closest that I could get it to what you saw on that other guy's page. Okay. Um, he has a different system in there. I'm not exactly sure how he did it, but it looks a little bit more custom made. And again, what I'm trying to do here is not custom made because I know you keep up with your own websites. So that's what makes it, a little bit more cumbersome. It makes it a little bit more, tricky to work with because if it was something that I would be keeping up with for you, then man, I could do so much. I could do so many more things. But whenever you do something for a client that they're going to maintain, if they don't have, you have to consider that they may not, or they may, but you have to always assume that they don't have any knowledge of web development. So you have to keep it in a way that they can just basically use a simple, uh, what you see is what you get form, editing text editor type of thing, and plugins and drag and drops, which is a bad thing because that's how you create a lot of bloat and create a lot of crap inside the site. But it is what it is. So, but I still added a bit of pizzazz to it, I guess, to make it your own. So, I think it works great. I tested it; it works. It seems to be working for me, So I instead of adding the form there, right? Before you had the form where you can just fill out your username and password there, and and then you hit the button, and then the button took you to the form where you actually started then adding information and all that stuff. So that created a problem because technically you have to look at them as two forms. Whenever you that input field that you had in the front right here on this very screen right now that you see with the button, the way that you had it before, that's a form in itself, and that button technically produces data when you hit it, right? So you have that form collecting whatever people put in that input field, which I think it was an email address at that point, and then it was either being sent somewhere or not sent anywhere at all. So it was either useless or already submitting the information that you needed. So when it went to the form or the form that you wanted it to go to, then it was kind of like a double submission because you already collected that data, right? So what's the other form for, right? So you were eventually gonna get double submissions, okay? So there is no wonder. I mean, there's no wonder why the other guy also didn't have that. The other guy also just had a button that says "Get instant access right now," and like that. So it makes sense why he had it that way, and that's basically what I'm doing for you too. I'm putting another one here, and I hate this pulsating effects and things like that for normal websites, but for your particular website right here, for this particular funnel type, this kind of stuff makes sense. If you don't like it, I can take it off. But you want to really get the attention, right? You want really people to be focused on that. So I didn't make it red. I didn't make it bright yellow. I made it so that it blends in with the design of the site, but at the same time, I added a little bit of a, hey, check me out. If you wanted to be a little bit more subtle, maybe not so fast, whatever. We can work around that part. And I'm not gonna go through the rest because I didn't even do anything. All right. So what happens is, I click on it, and I'm not supposed to go there. Let me refresh this. It opened up in the page that it shouldn't have. Okay. So this is the first. The reason why it opened up in the second one is because I already had it. I already closed the modal. This is called a modal. I already had closed the modal when I was already in the second step. So, but that's normally not gonna happen. All right. So the first thing you get is basically the shipping information. This is kind of like the same idea from the other guy. So I did borrow that idea from them, and they get to put in the information. The contact info and the email address, whatever, and the phone number, which should just accept numbers, but whatever for right now. And then all of this stuff right here, country and province or whatever, state, and all that, right? And when it goes to checkout, all of these forms, all of these fields right here, eventually I'm gonna make them required, so they have to fill it out. Now you have to consider that a lot of this stuff, it's you can't, like, for example, the email. I can make the email so that it's protected and it is an actual email field, and that some crap. Well, but like some crap like this, right? So that it validates for an actual email format. However, what I cannot validate is that people won't do something like this. This will pass, and that works. That's not just, that's not just your site. That's just on every site in the world. Every site in the world, when you can do this, and you will bypass the email validation. However, the problem is that, or the way that people are getting around this, is that they have somewhat of a validation, an email validation system, where where it sends an email to the email that you put here, and then in your email you open it, you validate it, and it sends you back to here. But I know you don't want that, right? At least that's not what we didn't want to make nothing too complex. If you do want that, yes, it's fine, but that's a lot more work to put into this, because now you have to start putting a validation system that goes into your email and validates and brings you back, and all that kind of stuff is hardcore stuff. Especially since we're not custom coding this, we're working with whatever some of the plugins that I put in can give you, and then I'm using code to manipulate that stuff. The shipping info, the same thing. You cannot validate what people put in the shipping info, unfortunately. They would be dumb to put something like this in there, because then they will not get the book. So they're paying for something that they're not gonna get. But my point is, some people can still, like spammers or whatever, can still put something like that. I can put a spam checker here, like like a captcha. I can do that, but what I'm saying is, like, what if somebody makes a mistake, and instead of me, for example, putting 4339 North Front Street, I end up putting 4399 North Front Street, and somebody down the road is gonna get the book, right? There are also ways to validate this shipping info with real addresses, which is by integrating an API from the post office, I think it is, from the post office or from Google Geolocator. And also, again, that's hardcore stuff that's going to require a lot more time to develop. So, again, I'm trying to help you out with your budget, basically. All right, so let's say they filled all out. I'm sorry. And on top of that, this has a country here, so it's also international, like the UK and things like that. So the geolocator is a lot bigger than just the post office. So anyway, so now I go ahead and fill that out, and I press checkout, and it takes me to the second tab. So this yellow thing basically denotes what has already been completed. So the first day was completed, and now you're in the second step about to be completed. That's why it's filled out. Filled out in yellow, in that color. Then you get a basic static form. This form right here, you cannot put to here. You can't go up in quantities and stuff like that in here, because it's not an actual interactive form. It's just basically explaining the people who are going to buy this, what it is that they're being charged for and how much they're being charged for it, right? That's the only reason why this exists here. I highly doubt that anybody will want 2 books, and then the card number, and the Stripe, whatever that they can put the information in here. This is coming from Stripe, so this is a little different than what that other guy has. That other guy actually has the credit card, a field for the credit card number, a field for the month, for the year, the CVC, all of that stuff. But that's because he has a different charging payment processing system, not Stripe. He has a different one that looks like it was custom made, customized to it. So that will take a little bit, like I said, a little bit more time to develop and a little bit more work. And for what you really want to do here, I would love to take your money and do something a lot more hard, a lot more hardened and a lot better, customized. But I don't think I think that what you have with something like this, utilizing the resources that exist out there right now, it's probably it's gonna be great. It's gonna work just as great for you. But by all means, if you still want to, that's fine. But I'm just giving you an advice as a friend, not just as your developer, but as a friend. Like I said, I don't mind taking your money, but I think you'd be wasting money to putting so much work and so much money into a small system that works just fine like this with these resources. But it's up to you. Let me know. All right. So right now the credit card here that I have is this thing, whatever it's called, Stripe. The Stripe that I have right now is the testing platform, so it's not going to basically send any information anywhere. It works like this, I think. Yeah, it works like this. And then enter your credit card info and then press enter to submit payment. And then as soon as you submit the payment, it says transaction is successfully completed. You saw it real quick, right? If you didn't, pause the video so you can see it. And then it sends you back to the front. So there you go. At this point, that money went into your Stripe account. Okay. How much? $9.99, because that's what was up there. So couple of things that you need to do. Give me a second. All right, the gravity forms, I'm gonna keep it here until you decide whether you want to keep it or not. I don't think you need it anymore. What you saw wasn't using gravity forms, so you can go ahead and call gravity forms or send them an email and tell them that you would like to cancel their subscription and you would like to return your money back. They would. I've done it before. They would. But I'll keep it there just in case you decide to keep gravity forms. All right. You're not gonna end up needing WooCommerce actually. The whole thing that you just saw there was without utilizing WooCommerce, which is a good thing because WooCommerce is a pretty big system. It's a pretty big platform. So it saves you a lot of space and makes your site a lot faster where you don't have to process WooCommerce. Again, you can just delete it. Same thing with this one. Same thing with this one. You can delete these if you want. Definitely, I'm gonna delete that because I know you don't need that because I did that differently. I did it with a different plugin, so I'll do that one for you. This WP file manager, this was made by that other guy, that Indian guy that you had there. He was using this WP file manager, which is this right here, to be able to submit changes into your server and things like that. That's because the guy is a rookie and doesn't know how to do it. This is the way to do it. You use FileZilla and you get connected through SFTP and IP addresses to the server. And this is what I was having problems with at the beginning. And this is how you actually send files through. This is the professional way to do it. So I will go ahead and remove that WP file manager. So the less stuff that you have running on your site, the better. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and deactivate that because you don't really need that right now. Just close that so that it stop bugging you with it. Update that. It's always good to be updated. Give me one more second. I'll try to be done quickly. All right, so just at your own discretion, just go ahead and delete whatever you don't think you want. Just hit delete and clean this up a little bit. Everything else, please keep it so nothing breaks. All right, and then the last thing that you need to do is here in settings general. This is the email that is in place right now. This is where your emails are going. I don't know if that even exists, if that email even exists, but if it does, go check it over there because you have a bunch of stuff probably there. But if not, I went and changed the address here to CEO at ABCTNT so you can get that information when people buy something. So you can get this information, because this fields right here will be collected up in your email. So so if you want to get that stuff in this email address, you need to go to that email address right now and check your spam folder and accept this change right here. I already sent it and it's pending. So simple, just go to your email, check your spam folder. There should be an email from your site that says that this was done or whatever. Approve it, and once you approve it, this right here will go away and this will take its place, and that will become your system email. Okay, and that's how you get your stuff. Another thing that I did is I upgraded this right here because it was on the wrong UTC. It was, I think, on California or something like that, or not California, but I don't know, some other place. UTC 0. I put UTC -4, which is the East Coast, because that's where you live, right? Oh, wait a minute, you live in Arizona. Okay, I'll change that. I think it's -2, I think, for Arizona. I'll change that. Don't worry about it. What else I did? Oh, and the most important part that I did for you, I still have a couple more things that I had to do for you. I had to add the blocker for those countries and all that stuff, and I'll do that in a second. But the other thing that I did for you is I made a child theme for you. Instead of before you were using the 2021 theme, which is the parent theme, is the main theme. So you're using this theme right here, which is called TonyPolicci. So this is the right way to develop with WooCommerce, with WordPress. You want to do everything in a child theme, because if anything you change here, whenever there is an update ready for this theme right here, and you upgrade update the theme, any changes that you make to this will go away. You don't want that. So by making a child theme, you basically are controlling, keeping your changes separate in this theme in here, and then whenever you have an update for this, you can go ahead and update this theme as normal, and everything will work just fine, and your changes will always be respected, and it will be there. So, and this is what basically all of this code that I made. So yeah, all of this code is in there. I changed a bunch of stuff. I know you don't understand a lot of the stuff, but this is your child frameworks and styles and all that stuff in there that you have. I'll remove that. And also I added a favicon, which you can see up here. It's that little T right there. So I added a favicon so you don't have that WordPress one that looks unprofessional. I added a favicon in there as well, which is this. What else? Alright, all of this seems to be, yeah, and all of this is just basically for the form to work. So you can see there was quite a bit of work in there, right? All right, so that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to show you where your money went. I wanted to show you my work. So, I do this with all my clients. I don't just take their money and send their stuff back and say, hey, it's done, see you later. I like to actually show that the work that I put in. It's just an ethical way for me to, I like full transparency, basically. All right, man. So that's all I got. I'm not gonna, keep going with this because I'm gonna make you fall asleep. But everything should be working now. As soon as you get your email activated over there on your spam folder or whatever, activate that email. And as soon as you send me the real Stripe account, then I'll change the configuration for the Stripe account, and then you should be able to start getting money. You can go ahead and buy yourself a book, so you can test it by yourself, and we'll be good. All right, I'll do the other stuff now, and that's it. See ya.